Afghanistan has sealed an automatic spot in the 2027 Men's ODI World Cup. The top 8 teams in the one-day rankings on September 30th, excluding co-hosts South Africa and Zimbabwe, qualified directly for the event, and Afghanistan's win over Ireland in Belfast ensured their place in the top 8. This is the 4th time that Afghanistan have qualified for the ODI World Cup, as they continue their rise in international cricket. However, it was heartbreak once again for the West Indies. The two-time champions missed a direct berth for the 3rd straight time. They will now have to go through qualifiers alongside Ireland, the same route that cost them a spot at the 2023 World Cup. The 2027 ODI World Cup takes place in South Africa and Zimbabwe across October and November next year. French football turns the page. Zinedine Zidane is the new head coach of Les Bleus. The French Football Federation has officially named Zidane as successor to Didier Deschamps, who steps down after 4.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas. I'm Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Could a regional nuclear war be in store for West Asia? With a senior Pentagon official now warning of a regional nuclear war, what really lies ahead for the region? We tell you more about what is being said right now from several quarters, the warnings that are coming in, and a look at the dangerous reality on the ground at the same time. Also on the show for you tonight, a detailed report coming up on the latest from Pakistan. Major developments, Imran Khan moving to Islamabad hospital for treatment. We tell you more on that. Also telling you about a big boost for India's naval power with new eyes in the Indian Ocean. We tell you what this is about. Why Islamabad is desperately urging Pakistanis to not beg in Saudi Arabia. That's the focus of our special report. A silent crisis brewing in India, with children unfortunately caught in deadly family conflicts and paying the price for that. All this and a lot more coming up.
Donald John Trump.
If you thought you've already been warned about the worst possible scenario for West Asia, given those rising tensions, you might want to rethink that. It could get a lot worse. The scenarios just keep getting uglier, keeping not just West Asia, but the entire world on edge with each passing day. Tonight, we tell you about a major warning. It's not coming from someone observing the developments from outside, but from someone within. A senior Pentagon official. Who is he? Meet Elbridge Colby, Under Secretary of War for Policy. According to this senior Pentagon official, a regional conflict in which nuclear weapons are used locally and trigger a wider escalation poses a greater danger than a surprise mass attack on the United States. Not just that, he says the consequences of a large-scale nuclear strike on America would deter countries capable of launching one, and that what he would fear more is a regional war. Let me just quote from what he has said. He described the danger as a kind of local war, conventional war that might have local employment, God forbid, of nuclear weapons that could escalate from there as it expanded outward. Note those words there, local employment of nuclear weapons, God forbid. We'll just come back to that statement. What happens in such a scenario is the immediate question. According to the senior Pentagon official, decision-making time in such a crisis could be extremely limited, and that's the other challenge. He says one side could misread a military move as preparation for a total attack and respond on a far greater scale than expected. What's the way to prevent such a nightmare from playing out for real, if at all? According to him, the United States must give the president credible and rational options. Those choices should deter an adversary without creating an uncontrollable spiral towards nuclear war. But just look at the options being explored within the Trump administration already. How, according to a former US Congresswoman, the nuclear option very much has been on Trump's table. Not just that, she has claimed that Trump administration officials are discussing the possible use of nuclear weapons against Iran, alleging that the issue has come up in high-level strategy meetings. Basically, she is accusing the administration of moving towards a lower threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. Is all of this a sign of things to come? Clearly, these are no ordinary times. Far from it. You see, when nuclear possibilities like these float around with increasing frequency, are these the kind of calculations being made behind the scenes? Now, we have the Pentagon official in the latest hinting at the potential of nuclear war, a local one. Can a regional war that the Pentagon official is talking about turn into reality? Can Pakistan or Israel bring the nuclear element to the war is the question. And how does Pakistan come into the picture, you wonder? Let's explain this. Earlier this month, remember, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Turkey signed that joint defense agreement in Mecca. It was called the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement, intended to basically strengthen collective deterrence against any act of aggression, and stipulating that an armed attack against any of the three would be regarded as an attack on all. Remember, cracks started showing soon after that pact was sealed with a lot of fanfare. But then, given these warnings, the possibilities doing the rounds, it's also important to highlight here how this trilateral framework could come into the picture. It could strengthen the country's collective diplomatic and defense weight as well, while also contributing to the emergence of a more regionally driven security architecture. And remember, Pakistan is the only nuclear-armed Muslim country as such. Also, although Pakistan agreed a mutual defense pact with Saudi Arabia just last year, it has not responded to Iran's attacks on the kingdom militarily, remember. It has also played down suggestions that its nuclear deterrent might be extended to allies, saying last year of its pact with Saudi Arabia that atomic weapons were not on the radar. Meanwhile, more details have emerged on America's stockpile crisis. That's the other challenge that America is grappling with, remember, and how this Iran war has basically exposed dangerous weaknesses. There are more numbers on the impact on the stockpiles of defensive missiles, with several years' worth of production fired off in just a matter of months. The Iran war has sharply depleted key U.S. missile defense stocks, with some estimates reportedly putting Patriot losses at up to 3/5, THAAD losses at about half. Rebuilding basically could take years. All of this while Russia and China, remember, continue to expand their missile arsenals. And these developments have triggered serious questions about whether ballistic missile defenses can actually keep up in a new arms race with Russia, Iran, China, North Korea. Let's also tell you about the developments that trickled in just a few hours ago that could also point towards a major escalation in the region. According to Syrian state media, Israel bombed an airbase in Syria, carrying out what appeared to be its first strike on Syrian government assets since March, and drawing criticism at the same time from a U.S. envoy who called it an unnecessary escalation. According to a Reuters report, Syria's state-run source, citing a military source, said Israel carried out eight airstrikes targeting the runway and storage facilities at this base, the Abu al-Duhur base. The report added that the Israeli military declined to comment on the strikes, while the Syrian Defense Ministry did not respond. A lot clearly is up in the air, West Asia getting dragged further into uncertainty, despair. The region right now stands on the brink of what could be a far more dangerous phase. On to Pakistan now, as the Asif Munir-led hybrid regime faces growing legitimacy crises on multiple fronts. Is the political scenario in the country set to change once again? Why are we asking that? In a big boost for the opposition, ex-Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan secured a major relief from the country's Supreme Court after being in Lahore's Adiala jail for over 3 years. A 3-member Supreme Court bench ordered the cricketer-turned-politician to be moved to Islamabad's Shifa International Hospital for treatment until at least 16th of September. This came in wake of growing concerns over the health of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf founder. Listen to this first.
He has been taken to a hospital run by an institution in which we do not have confidence or trust. Today, the Supreme Court ordered that within 2 days, Imran Khan be transferred from Adiala jail to Shifa International Hospital in Islamabad.
Khan will have to be transferred to the private hospital within 48 hours. In fact, it also ordered the creation of a medical board for him, comprising an eye specialist, a general physician, a cardiologist, and Khan's personal physician. The court also made it clear that Sultan, as well as the PTI founder's sister, will be associated with his treatment. That's not all. According to the court's order, the jail authorities have to basically facilitate weekly meetings with his family and regular calls with his UK-based sons. The cost of the treatment will be borne by the ex-Prime Minister's family. However, is there a cover-up being attempted? Is also a question here. Even as rumors about Khan's death have been doing the rounds, Pakistan's top court has chosen to, in a way, gag the media. The Pakistan Supreme Court directed Khan's family and lawyers not to share his medical reports with the media. It further directed that no media talk, political activity or press conference will be held outside the hospital by anyone meeting Khan. According to the court, this order cannot be recalled if these directives are violated. Now, this raises a key question and concern here. Is the Pakistani establishment trying to hide the reality of Khan's medical condition? Let's just take you back to February this year. Imran Khan's lawyer informed the court that he lost 85% of vision in his right eye. The PTI founder has been diagnosed with right central retinal vein occlusion. That's basically a medical condition which can cause permanent damage to eyesight if left untreated. His condition worsened as he was merely given eye drops for 3 months reportedly, which resulted in no improvement as such. In August, Khan complained of fluctuating blood pressure, mental stress, headache, after which the doctors recommended an angiography. Now, this comes in the backdrop of the party announcing a long march to Islamabad on the 27th of September, which was supposed to be joined by Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Sohail Afridi and nearly 2 million people. Last week itself, PTI workers took to the streets to demand the ex-Prime Minister's release, remember, as well as in protest against the rising corruption. Earlier on the 5th of August, hundreds of PTI supporters gathered in Karachi to mark the 3rd anniversary of his detention. A heavy contingent of riot police charged towards the demonstrators, fired tear gas, beat them up, dragged them towards the police vehicles. Now, the jail authorities presented a rather rosy picture of the PTI founder's health in Pakistan's apex court. For example, they claimed that his vision has returned to normal after treatment. They also claim that medical officers visit him thrice in jail and check his vitals, including blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation. According to the authorities, Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi have met in jail 84 times so far. They've claimed so. Now, it's also worth pointing out here that the Asif Munir-led military establishment basically started a brutal crackdown on the PTI after the party workers allegedly attacked military installations. This was in May 2023. At present, Khan and Bushra Bibi are serving that 17-year jail term in the Toshkhana case. Besides this, the couple have also been convicted in the other cases. After Khan was arrested, PTI accused Munir of rigging the 2024 general election. To begin with, PTI's candidates were barred from contesting on the party's name and symbol. Not just that, PTI-linked independents emerged as the single largest group with as many as 93 seats. If not for blatant rigging as alleged, PTI believes that its real seat tally was 180, whereas the ruling PMLN, according to them, won only 17 seats in reality, allegedly. So at a time when Pakistan Army is batting for the creation of more provinces, today's development, is it a fresh bid by the Pakistani establishment to reach out to the PTI? And does this also spell trouble for PMLN and the PPP? Amid all of those questions, one thing is clear right now. Khan's resilience has put the Munir-led hybrid regime in a serious spot of bother. Let's now tell you how the Indian Ocean is heating up. India wants more eyes in the sky as Chinese naval activity expands across the region. The Indian Navy is moving to plug a gap that cannot wait for years. New Delhi has executed a high-stakes, multi-million-dollar surveillance move by securing a fresh lease for American super drones. The Indian Navy is locking down persistent airborne dominance from the coast of Africa to the gates of the Pacific. Take a look.
In the vast expanses of the Indo-Pacific, control over vital maritime choke points dictates global power. As hostile naval forces push deeper into strategic sea lanes, blind spots are no longer an option for regional defenders. India is now spending $203 million to lease two MQ-9B Sea Guardian drones from the United States for 30 months. The aim is simple: keep a persistent watch over India's huge maritime area of interest while the country waits for its larger fleet of MQ-9Bs to arrive. The Sea Guardian is built for exactly this kind of mission. It is an advanced, high-altitude, long-endurance, remotely piloted aircraft built for multi-domain maritime surveillance, featuring 30-plus hour endurance, 360-degree surface search radar, and integration with precision weapons like Hellfire missiles and laser-guided bombs. Critics question the steep price tag for just two leased platforms. However, strategic analysts view it as a calculated, much-needed acquisition.
The company will be supplying the entire ecosystem and operating these drones, which include sensors, communications, ground control, infrastructure, technology support, maintenance, space, etc. And also it will give us assured operational hours. If you remember, 2020 onwards, Indian Navy has been operating and one drone was lost, and this was replaced by the company because they were operating it.
For the Indian Navy, these super drones means something strategically important. More time looking, more time tracking. More time to identify a vessel before it gets close to India's critical maritime route. And China is central to the calculation. Beijing has expanded its naval presence across the Indian Ocean and has strengthened its ability to operate far from China's shores. Chinese research vessels, naval deployments, and commercial shipping already give Beijing a growing presence across waters India considers strategically important. India therefore needs persistent surveillance, not occasional patrols. The lease is also part of a wider Indian push. India has previously leased American MQ-9B drones for naval surveillance, giving the military experience with the platform before committing to a much larger acquisition. The Indian Navy is now moving ahead with plans for shipborne drones as well, creating another layer of surveillance from India's warships. The MQ-9B Sea Guardian drones do not replace submarines, surface ships, or maritime patrol aircraft. They give those forces something equally important: information. In the Indian Ocean, information can determine who sees a ship first, who tracks it longest, and who gets time to respond. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Time now to take a quick look at the global headlines at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
Spanish police patrolled malls and homes in Granada after 3 earthquakes above magnitude 4 struck on Tuesday. At least 3 people suffered minor injuries, with 1 child taken to hospital. Firefighters battled underground peat fires in Belgium as the country's largest wildfire on record continued to smolder beneath the surface. Syria's foreign ministry condemns what it says are an unjustified Israeli attack on an airbase in the country's northwest, while Israel has not commented on the incident. Indonesian students clash with the police on the streets of Jakarta, a day after the country's Independence Day celebrations, demanding government address issues like rising inflation and free meal program. Days after Dhaka links PM Tariq Rahman's India visit to Sheikh Hasina's extradition, New Delhi says it desires constructive ties with Bangladesh. Japan will test hypersonic and other missiles on Australian soil under expanded defense cooperation. OpenAI introduces a new version of its marquee ChatGPT chatbot designed exclusively for teens, with stronger safeguards and monitoring after facing criticism and legal complaints that it drove some users to suicide. Oil prices rose for a third straight session on Tuesday as hopes of West Asia peace deal faded. Brent crude climbed to $91.07 a barrel, while WTI reached $84.99.
Pakistan, meanwhile, has a message for its own citizens traveling to Saudi Arabia. Go for Umrah, follow the law, do not beg. Sounds bizarre, right? What's behind that warning? Well, this is a problem that Pakistan has been struggling to control for years, in fact, with thousands deported from Gulf countries for begging and other violations. And now, as Islamabad deepens its strategic relationship with Riyadh, this embarrassment is becoming harder to hide.
A deep economic collapse at home has triggered a humiliating diplomatic crisis for Pakistan. The scale of the crisis has exploded across the Gulf. Thousands of Pakistani nationals are traveling abroad only to turn into professional beggars across pilgrimage sites. The Pakistani embassy in Saudi Arabia released this AI-generated video showing a man being arrested by Saudi authorities and taken to jail and then deported. It's the humiliation which is troubling Islamabad. This is not a new problem. It has become a recurring menace. In March, nearly 900 people were stopped at the Karachi airport alone as authorities targeted people suspected of traveling to Saudi Arabia to beg. In June 2025, around 58,000 Pakistanis were deported from different countries for begging from Saudi Arabia, Oman and Qatar. And Saudi Arabia is not just another destination for Pakistan. It is one of Islamabad's most important financial lifelines. In April, Saudi Arabia pledged another $3 billion in support for Pakistan, on top of a previous $5 billion deposit arrangement. So while Pakistani citizens are being told not to carry a begging bowl into Saudi Arabia, Islamabad itself repeatedly turns to Riyadh for financial support. That contrast is hard to miss. Pakistan's own numbers show why the pressure exists. The overall poverty has surged by 7%, pushing an additional 27 million people into poverty. In total, 70 million people are in poverty. The country faces $23 billion in external debt payments this fiscal year. Islamabad has repeatedly promised Riyadh that it will crack down on begging networks exploiting pilgrimage. Now, the relationship has become even more sensitive. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey have signed the Mecca Joint Defence Agreement, creating a new strategic defence framework. Now, that does not mean Saudi Arabia is obliged to overlook illegal activity. It only means Islamabad has even more reason to ensure its citizens do not create friction with Riyadh. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Time now for a Gravitas special report. But let me just warn you, some viewers might find the details of this story disturbing. This is about a deadly myth, a fake doctor, and the promise of instant money. An extraordinary chain of events behind the murder of a 17-year-old boy in Bhopal in India. According to Bhopal police, the case started with an Instagram reel claiming that human testicles could be reportedly sold for as much as 2 crore rupees. That's around $209,000. The police say a 20-year-old BBA student who allegedly presented himself as a doctor convinced others that the claim was real. You know what happened next? The police have now arrested the BBA student, an 18-year-old, and 3 minors. According to Bhopal police, 4 of the accused allegedly carried out the attack, while the BBA student guided the group and was the mastermind behind the conspiracy. According to the police, a knife used in the killing has also been recovered. The police saying the victim came from a struggling family. His father had died while his mother worked as a cleaner at a public toilet. The 17-year-old helped support them by selling pens and keychains. The police say 2 minors who knew him lured him away with a promise of 100 rupees, claiming they needed his help in a fight. Instead, he was taken to a secluded area.
ये उसको जानते थे, पहले से जानते थे और उसी का बहाने इसको ये बोल के लाया कि हमारी कहीं लड़ाई हो रही है और उसको उसके लिए 100 रुपए भी दिए कि थोड़ी मदद करने आ जाओ, उसी में ये लड़का उनके साथ चले जाए.
Police say he was attacked from behind, overpowered, stabbed repeatedly with a knife and a blade. After the murder, the testicle of the victim was removed and placed in a polythene bag. The accused then looked for potential buyers, but to no avail. And the severed body part was allegedly kept for days as attempts were made to find someone to purchase it. And when it was clear that no buyers would emerge, the accused then threw the body part into the water. That's the disturbing sequence of events that's emerged. Not just that, according to Bhopal police, on the 10th of August, they recovered a decomposed body from the secluded area, and the victim was initially unidentified. Subsequently, a murder case was registered against unidentified people. 5 days later, a woman searching for her missing son approached the police. She identified the body with the help of a distinctive tattoo on his hand. And the investigators then questioned people who knew him and traced those last seen with him. This trail basically led the police to the 5 accused and to a motive based on an online myth. Two years ago, India was left in utter shock after a CEO of a Bengaluru-based AI startup was arrested for smothering her 4-year-old son to death at a resort in Goa. Over the last few months, many such disturbing cases have come to light, where parents have allegedly killed their own children and at times even taken their own lives later. I know this is heart-wrenching, it's disturbing, it's infuriating, and so much more. These are children we are talking about, being allegedly killed by their own parents. Now, barely a day earlier, Bengaluru was rocked by a double murder case. A woman was taken into custody for murdering her husband and their 4-year-old child. What was the trigger for this? Her alleged affair and marital discord, reportedly. But what was the child's fault in this? Why did an innocent life have to pay the price? Here's what the police had to say about what has emerged.
Both husband and wife, they were having frequent quarrels over many small issues. So on Friday they had a quarrel. So after that quarrel, she decided to get rid of this person, and she sought the help of the other accused, Vinay Kumar, and both of them planned it, and they executed it on the night of intervening night of Sunday and Monday.
Imagine that. Early this month, in fact, another disturbing case unfolded. This was in Bengaluru itself. A 40-year-old man checked into a 5-star hotel near the airport with his 2 daughters. Sounds like an ordinary story? Here's what happened hours later. He allegedly strangled both of the children and then tried to end his own life by slitting his throat. But he was rescued in time by the hotel security. A suicide note recovered from the scene pointed towards a prolonged marital dispute, with the accused suspecting his wife of having an affair. But then again, what was the children's fault here? And that's not even all. We are not done. In April, a medicine dealer allegedly murdered his 11-year-old twin daughters by slitting their throats with a steel axe. Disturbing to say the least. The murders took place in Kanpur, where they were staying for the past 7 years. Subsequently, he was arrested. It's learned that he himself informed the police after committing those murders. And according to his wife, he often came home drunk and engaged in arguments and fights. According to reports, a dispute got triggered between the two, even on the night of the killings. It's also suspected that the accused may have given his family sleeping pills before the incident, as his wife and son were present in the same room, reportedly, at the time of murder, but were unaware of it. What's the scale of parents killing their children and then taking their own lives, really? While India does not maintain separate data for such cases, family problems accounted for about 34% of all suicide cases. The role of mental health here cannot be understated, of course. According to some experts here, the core issue remains that domestic distress is often seen as something which should be contained within the home. Instead of seeking professional help, a husband and wife are expected to sort things out, their problems among themselves. But then how and why do things take such a dangerous turn? In fact, India's high mental health treatment gap also has come to the forefront. According to the Indian Psychiatric Society, nearly 85% of individuals suffering from mental health disorders do not receive timely or appropriate care. Although there may not be enough evidence to suggest that such incidents are rising, at the same time, they have triggered serious concern. It's increasingly also emerging that mental health needs to be taken very seriously. Before we go on any further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. If you post on social media, we tell you how AI could be used to track your location. You do not want to miss this. Is the Earth's core changing? If yes, to what extent? And how does this impact you? We tell you all that you need to know. What's the story behind China's so-called Superman humanoid robot? Why is it being called that? What's so special about this robot? We're telling you all that you need to know. All this and a lot more coming up. US President Donald Trump has been on a mission to mandate the requirement of a voter ID to prevent non-citizens from voting in the elections. In fact, he lauded India's voter ID system, renewing his appeal for the passage of the Save America Act. Let's just break this down first. Trump said that India's chief election commissioner had questioned his administration on how people can exercise their franchise in the US polls without furnishing a voter ID. Highlighting India's case, Trump said, I'm quoting, India's last election had these many voters, less than 1% voted by mail, and every single voter had to have a valid photo identity document. While this legislation has been passed by the US House of Representatives on multiple occasions, it has failed to actually clear the Senate so far. This bill basically makes it compulsory for states to register only those people as voters who can prove their citizenship via documents like passport, birth certificate, a government-issued ID, or a military record showing place of birth. Additionally, people will be able to cast their votes in the federal elections only after producing a valid voter ID. While India's election process remains robust, of course, with the EC issuing photo identity cards to voters since 1993, its decision to conduct a special intensive revision of electoral rolls has been drawing criticism from the opposition. That's because a large number of voters allegedly are being deleted. Take Maharashtra, for example. While the state has 9.78 crore registered voters, enumeration forms of over 2 crore voters have not been received reportedly. This implies that nearly 21% of the total voters will not feature on the draft electoral roll set to be published on the 24th of August. On its part, though, the EC has categorized these voters as absent, duplicate, deceased, and permanently shifted. In the next phase of SIR, aggrieved people can also file an appeal against their exclusion or register as new voters if they have shifted to a new place. That's just to put this simply. Now, in India's national capital, the issue is a lot more acute. As per data released by the Chief Electoral Officer, at least 1 in 3 Delhi voters facing the risk of deletion. That's because 33% of enumeration forms are yet to be submitted. And this has triggered a row with the Delhi Congress president basically accusing the booth-level officers of not distributing the enumeration forms in unauthorized colonies and villages. However, this allegation was debunked by the EC, which claimed to have distributed SIR forms to all existing voters. While this may come across as a bureaucratic exercise, it can have serious implications from an electoral perspective specifically. For instance, in this year's West Bengal Assembly elections, 91 lakh voters were deleted. 27 lakh voters challenged their exclusion. They were unable to exercise their franchise as their appeals were not heard in time. Apart from the legal argument here, the SIR process raises another question. With India not even having a standard citizenship document as such, why is the onus on the voters to furnish their as well as their parents' records? And if the discrepancy in the electoral rolls is so huge, how are these people actually allowed to vote for so many years in the first place? While the debate continues, it's also clear that every eligible voter deserves to be included in the electoral roll as well. A Jerusalem synagogue has been vandalized again in an attack Israeli police reportedly investigating as a possible hate crime. Just after midnight, a group of young people reportedly entered the grounds of a prominent Reform synagogue. They broke a window and entered the prayer hall, damaging artwork and ripping down the pride flags, allegedly. At least 3 people were reportedly at the scene, while no congregants were inside at the time. Investigators are reportedly reviewing the footage of the incident and collecting fingerprints as well. Police have reportedly not identified any suspects, announced any arrests, or disclosed a motive. The particular Jerusalem Reform Synagogue has faced previous attacks over its support for the LGBTQ community. In 2018, a large rock was reportedly hurled into the synagogue's courtyard while more than 200 people were celebrating a Jewish holiday. In June 2023, the synagogue reported 2 break-ins within weeks. Intruders allegedly removed pride flags, and during one incident, they allegedly entered the sanctuary. A Reform rabbi and lawmaker from Israel's Democrats Party condemned the latest attack and called those responsible incited hooligans, quote unquote. Now, the Jerusalem deputy mayor has called the vandalism part of a wave of hate crimes against the LGBTQ community in Jerusalem, and basically urged the police not to treat it as a prank. The attack came hours after an attack at Central Synagogue, a major Reform congregation in Manhattan, where a Shabbat service was disrupted while a congregant and a security guard were also attacked. So far, there is no indication that the two incidents are connected in any way. Let me ask you this. What if your inane holiday photograph post could actually tell a stranger where exactly you are, even after you remove the location tag or do not mention the location in any way? That may sound far-fetched. It's of course scary as well, but a new study says AI can often work out where a photo was taken just by looking at the image. A study by McAfee found that AI models correctly identified the city and country in 87 to 91% of more than 21,000 travel photos. And here's the surprising part here. The images did not need GPS information, location tags, captions, file names, or hidden metadata. The AI looked for clues hidden in plain sight: buildings, road markings, shop signs, even skylines, food stalls. McAfee says the models used in the study were open weight and available without a subscription. The company tested them by simply uploading a photo and asking the AI to identify the location. Famous landmarks were easier to recognize. Ordinary beaches, rural roads, hotel rooms were tougher. But the AI could still often work out the country. And that could also carry serious consequences and implications, especially for social media users. In fact, McAfee warns that scammers could also use public photos from Instagram, Facebook, or other platforms to work out where someone is, and then craft highly personalized fraud messages. Just imagine receiving a fake bank alert that mentions the city you are visiting. A message like that could perhaps feel convincing, right? It could make you drop your guard as well. So before you post that next holiday photo, remember your photo could reveal more than you intended as well. Violent tremors are shaking the planet as powerful earthquakes rattle several parts from Indonesia to Colombia. But deep beneath our feet, these massive shock waves have just exposed a baffling planetary mystery, it seems. Scientists have confirmed that the solid iron core at the very center of our planet has slowed down and is now moving backwards relative to the surface. Take a look.
In recent weeks, powerful earthquakes above have struck Indonesia, Colombia, Mexico, and Venezuela, killing hundreds and leveling entire neighborhoods. With global seismic activity tracking ahead of the decade average, millions of people are asking if the planet is becoming more unstable. Geologist rules out direct link between strong earthquakes in Colombia, Venezuela.
Both Venezuela and Colombia are seismically active countries. Seismic activity in both countries involves interactions between tectonic plates. In the case of the earthquake that occurred in Venezuela on June 24th, its cause was the interaction between the Caribbean plate and the South American plate. In Colombia's strong earthquake, however, the involved plates are the Nazca plate and the South American plate. Their geological contexts are different.
Yet for scientists, these violent tremors are providing an unprecedented window into the deepest, most inaccessible layer of our world. More than 6,000 kilometers beneath the crust sits Earth's inner core, a scorching sphere of solid iron and nickel roughly the size of the moon. Floating inside a sea of liquid metal in the outer core, this planetary engine was long believed to rotate steadily faster than the surface. Researchers say that assumption is incorrect. By analyzing seismic waves from repeating earthquakes recorded between 1991 and 2023, researchers noticed identical shockwave patterns that altered and then reverted. The data provides clear proof that, around 2010, the inner core decelerated dramatically. For the first time in over 40 years, it is moving slower than the mantle. Effectively backtracking and reversing direction from our perspective on the surface, the inner core is connected to the layers around it. The outer core contains moving molten metal that helps generate Earth's magnetic field. These changes deep inside the planet may help scientists understand how that magnetic field behaves. The movement may also affect the length of a day by only a few thousandths of a second. Nobody will feel it, but it gives scientists another clue about what is happening inside the planet. And that is the real discovery. Earth may look stable from the outside. Deep beneath us, it is constantly moving.
Time now to get you some offbeat stories. Chinese robotics firm has now unveiled a new high-speed humanoid robot. What's so special about it? Well, just days before the company is set to make its stock market debut in Shanghai, it has raised about $905 million in its IPO, by the way, with a retail investor demand surging to record levels. So that's the context. In fact, Unitree has dubbed its new robot Superman and says it developed the machine in just over 3 months. The robot can basically jump 2 meters from a standing position and has reached a top speed of 12.66 meters per second. The robot's unveiling also coming as Unitree prepares to start trading on Shanghai's market on Wednesday, making it the first general-purpose robotics company to list on mainland China's stock market. Its IPO was more than 8,000 times oversubscribed by retail investors, by the way. A record for Shanghai's tech-focused market. In fact, Unitree has said it had produced and delivered about 18,000 bipedal humanoids across multiple models as of July. Its robots have attracted global attention for running, dancing, performing martial arts as well. The company says the new Superman robot is still a work in progress and could be improved further in the coming months. It's also backed by major Chinese technology companies, including Tencent, Alibaba, and DeepSeek. The company's stock market debut also coinciding with the opening of the World Robot Conference in Beijing, putting fresh investor attention on one of China's fastest-growing robotics firms. A rescue pug from South Korea has been crowned the world's ugliest dog. He was rescued from the mountains before being adopted in California and won the 50th edition of this quirky contest in California, taking home a $5,000 award. Take a look. Well, they all seem cute to me, definitely. Shifting focus, let's tell you about the eras of the Odyssey and the Viking longships. It happened about 2,000 years apart. Why are we talking about it tonight? A Viking longship ended up with a starring role in this year's blockbuster movie. For the filmmaker, the filmmaking going beyond the story and extending into a spectacle, to say the least. And that he brings to life with real props and actual scenes rather than recreating a ship with computer-generated images. He wanted a real one, capable of sailing on the open sea with flesh and blood men aboard. And for his latest film, The Odyssey, a team of Norwegian shipwrights and sailors who built a vessel that actually speaks to both history and Hollywood is being credited for bringing alive that vision. A Viking longship is basically a long, narrow, lightweight warship used by Scandinavian raiders, traders, even explorers from roughly the 8th to 11th centuries. These versatile vessels featured a shallow hull and both oars and a square sail, allowing the Vikings to navigate open seas and shallow rivers. And now, the latest one is believed to be the largest modern replica of a Viking ship. Even though it has Scandinavian roots, it fits the bill for a film rooted in Greek mythology. Typical of the Viking era, it had to be stripped off the dragon figurehead at its bow. And for months, the longship's crew of seasoned sailors rubbed shoulders with Hollywood star Matt Damon, who plays Odysseus on screen, and a host of other professional actors. With such a mixed crew on board, it wasn't always easy to row in perfect sync, but it worked, and the film, of course, has emerged as a box office blockbuster.
It was very nice and very good, never complain. Every of the actors was out for a long time, and it was very cold and sometimes rough. No complaints, nothing, never. So that was fantastic to see. They was not spoiled.
The film, in case you're not aware already, retraces the hero in a perilous journey to his home after the Trojan War in the 12th century BCE. Time now to get your Gravitas image of the day. For this, we take you to China's third largest desert, where a rare double rainbow arched across the sky in North China's Inner Mongolia autonomous region following rainfall. Look at that, the vibrant rainbow reflected in the turquoise lake as well and set against the golden dunes, leaving a breathtaking natural spectacle. Let's now focus on a big question hanging in the air, the answer to which determines a lot. US President Donald Trump has stressed no talks are taking place with Iran. On the other hand, Iranian foreign minister claiming that America is begging to negotiate as per its conditions, with both sides at loggerheads seemingly portraying this. Will the West Asia stalemate continue, is the big question. And a quick look at three major events from around the world expected to reshape headlines. On Wednesday, South Korea will be conducting a counter-terrorism drill. This will be in Seoul at a hotel which is a major landmark, as well as a nearby subway station. The last day of the first test match between India and Sri Lanka will take place tomorrow. All three results, including a draw, are a possibility. For a win, India needs 6 wickets, whereas Sri Lanka requires 288 runs. The US envoy to India is set to visit Jammu and Kashmir on Wednesday. During his visit, he is likely to meet the Chief Minister. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
Robots sparring for a fight, not for entertainment or for sport. Surgical arms that can feel to give surgeons a sense of touch. Traditional warships are facing flotillas of unmanned vessels. The smartwatch is passé, smart bands are just as effective at monitoring health. Put a ring on it this week on Take It Out at these times.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
Robots sparring for a fight, not for entertainment or for sport. Surgical arms that can feel to give surgeons a sense of touch. Traditional warships are facing flotillas of unmanned vessels. The smartwatch is passé, smart bands are just as effective at monitoring health. Put a ring on it this week on Take It Out at these times.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
Afghanistan has sealed an automatic spot in the 2027 Men's ODI World Cup. The top 8 teams in the one-day rankings on September 30th, excluding co-hosts South Africa and Zimbabwe, qualified directly for the event. And Afghanistan's win over Ireland in Belfast ensured their place in the top 8. This is the 4th time that Afghanistan have qualified for the ODI World Cup, as they continue their rise in international. However, it was heartbreak once again for the West Indies. The two-time champions missed a direct berth for the 3rd straight time. They will now have to go through qualifiers alongside Ireland, the same route that cost them a spot at the 2023 World Cup. The 2027 ODI World Cup takes place in South Africa and Zimbabwe across October and November next year. French football turns the page. Zinedine Zidane is the new head coach of Les Bleus. The French Football Federation has officially named Zidane as successor to Didier Deschamps, who steps down after 14 years in charge. For France, this is more than an appointment. It's the return of a national icon. Zidane was the heartbeat of France's 1998 World Cup triumph.
You're watching Pulse. I'm Shreya Upadhyay. Up ahead, we get you all that has been making news here in India and across the world. First up, a quick look at the top stories. The UAE issues an alert after its air defense systems detect a missile threat for the first time in several months. Residents have been advised to follow a warning and alerts through official channels. US President Donald Trump posts an image of the